Hi everybody, this video is about equations of circles. So on the right side of the screen at the top, I have the information that you need to write the equation of a circle. Long story short, you need the center and the radius. If we call the center hk and the radius r, then the equation is x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. Now later in the video we're going to need the distance formula and the midpoint formula, so I just wrote those as a reminder in case you might have forgotten them. So in this problem we're given the center of a circle and the radius of the circle, which means we can immediately write the equation because that's all you need to write the equation of a circle. You need the center, you need the radius. Well, we have that, so write the equation. And the equation is, let's see, x minus h. So x minus the x coordinate, which is 8, quantity squared, plus, now I'm not going to write y minus negative 10, minus minus will change that to plus. So y minus negative 10 quantity squared equals r squared, which is 49. 7 squared, 49. So if you have the center and you have the radius, well, you're done. Now, I want to leave the right side of the screen there, so I'm going to manually erase, and let's see what's next. So here, we have the center of the circle, we don't have the radius of the circle, so our job really is to go find the radius, because once we have the radius, we'll be able to write the equation. So we did this earlier in the year. We have the area of a circle, and we know the area formula. So pi r squared is the area formula. We happen to know that the area of this particular circle is 19 pi, and this is an equation you can solve. So if I divide by pi on both sides, we have r squared is 19. Take the square root on both sides. Now, really I should write plus or minus, but this is geometry. A negative radius wouldn't make sense. So now we have the radius, which means we can write the equation again. X minus 14 quantity squared plus y minus negative 5 makes y plus 5 quantity squared equals, well, the radius, square root of 19 squared is 19. The square root of 19 times the square root of 19 is 19. But you may have noticed, well, if you look at this line, we already have r squared, so I can just put r squared here is 19. So we're going to do a few more problems similar to this one, but that's the basic idea. If you don't have either the center or the radius, you go find it, and then you can immediately write the equation of your circle. So here we have the circumference, so it's the same idea. We know that the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r, and we know that this particular circumference is 2 pi times the square root of 10. So if we divide by 2 pi on both sides, you have r is the square root of 10. And now write the equation. X minus negative 1 makes x plus 1, y minus 8. And on the right hand side we need r squared. The square root of 10 times the square root of 10 is 10. And by the way, just as a hint, the number 100 did not need to go through your mind. The square root of 10 times the square root of 10, you can immediately jump to 10. That's how squaring and square roots work. They're like inverse operations. So we didn't have the radius, we went and found it, and we're done. I think we have a couple more problems, but they're all very similar to this. Go find what you need, and then you can write the equation. So here we have the center of the circle. We have some point on the outside edge of the circle, so let's think about what this might mean. So we have a circle, the center is at the point 4, 0, a point on the outside edge of the circle is 9, 3. So if you want the radius of this circle, well, the radius is the distance from the center to the outside edge. So let's use our distance formula. So the distance formula will give us our radius. So the distance formula, we have the square root of, let's see, 9 minus 4, x minus x squared plus 3 minus 0 squared. And do this in as many steps as you need. 9 minus 4 is 5. 5 squared is 25. 3 minus 0 is 3. 3 squared is 9. And then 25 plus 9, we have the square root of 34. And that won't simplify because 34 is 2 times 17. So now we have the radius, so you can write the equation. X minus 4, quantity squared, plus, I'm not going to put y minus 0 in parenthesis, so I'm just going to write y squared because y minus 0 is just y. So x minus 4 quantity squared plus y squared equals the radius squared, and that's 34. So I think we have one more problem to do. And let's see, I want to keep the right side of the screen so you can see the formula that we need. So this time we have the endpoints of a diameter. So if you visualize what we're dealing with here, we have a circle with some center, and you have a point on a diameter and then the other endpoint of that diameter. So we don't have the center and we don't have the radius either. So since these 2 points are on a diameter, well, halfway between those 2 points, that is the midpoint, will give us the center of the circle, and then we'll proceed as in the previous problem. So first, we're going to find the center. So the midpoint formula, you average the x values and you average the y values. So let's see, negative 11 minus 9, that's negative 20. Negative 20 divided by 2 is negative 10. 14 minus 2 is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So the center of the circle is 10, 6. So we now know this point. We need the radius, so we're going to proceed as in the previous problem. We have the center, and we'll use one of the points on the outside edge of the circle and use the distance formula to find the radius. So the radius, we'll again use the distance formula. Be careful of all the minus signs. We have negative 10 minus negative 9 squared plus 6 minus negative 2 squared. And do this in as many steps as you need. So this is negative 10 plus 9, that's negative 1, but we're squaring. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. 6 plus 2 is 8, and then 8 squared is 64. So this is the square root of 65. Again, this doesn't simplify. 65 is 5 times 13. So we can write the equation. Remember to use the center point, not one of these points that we started with. We have to use the center. X minus negative 10 is x plus 10, quantity squared, plus y minus 6, quantity squared, equals, well, r squared is 65. So that's how you deal with the basics of the equations of circles. Hope it helped.